This video is going to be about the oldest, most ancient tribes of Africa, including the most ancient tribe of them all in the world. But before I get to that, I want to show you some variations of the word Bantu that exist within Bantu people throughout Africa. Bantu seems to be the main word that is used, but different parts of tribes used a different variation of the name, and some of them are similar, and based on the dialect that they use, all these names means people, and these names refer to Bantu. So if you know any of these languages, you'll be able to recognize some of them. So let's get started. Okay, we have Bantu, which means people. We have Batu, we have Ato, we have Watu, Atu, Ato or Acho, Bot, Banu, Banyu, Adu, Anu, Mu, Twa, Zanj. Shout out to people who already know about the Zanj rebellion. And then as you get to other African tribes that are found in other places outside of Africa, I believe it is, I don't want to be incorrect here, but one of those tribes in East Asia also, they go by another variation of Bantu. Okay, so this is how complex Bantu people are, but we understand it and we get it. The worst thing that has happened was the introduction of Europeans who thought that they were scholars of our history, and they were not. They went ahead and named Africans by certain groups, and sometimes they named geographical locations, giving that groups of people an English name based on that geographical location, that is English. And so we have tribes today that call themselves by their geographical area. So that causes a lot of disconnect in terms of who African people are and how connected we are. I'm going to show you 7 oldest tribes by the end of this video, and I'm going to paint a picture that you're going to understand. When you see me point out Bantu people in North Africa, I'm not misleading you. When you see me point out Bantu people in West Africa, I am not misleading you. When you see me point out Bantu people in Western Cape, South Africa, I am not misleading you. Europeans were on a mission to wipe out our history, and our history, unfortunately, is within the 1300-year period of the Arab invasion of North Africa. So when you dig into our African history, you're going to constantly get Muslim, you're going to constantly get Islam, which is not part of who we are. But unfortunately, 1,300 years is a long time to erase and change a race and change a history of our ancient people. Outside of the 1300-year period of the Arab invasion, we also have interruptions by the Chinese, we have Italians, we have Greeks, we have Europeans, and all these groups that got involved in Africa changed a lot about our history. They named things that they shouldn't have named, and they left things that now they look back and call themselves as part of the people that were originally there. So that has caused a lot of confusion, but I'm going to clear that up for you. So for instance, you see these are kingdoms and empires of Africa. Again, this is just some of them, okay? It's not all of them, and this is within a certain type of period. When you talk about African history, it goes far back than you can imagine, okay? So as it relates to how Africans are named, pay attention to the tribal names that you get to learn about. Who named them? When were they named? Were they named by a European? Were they named by kingdoms? Here's another thing about kingdoms. Human beings exist before a kingdom, yet we have identifier names that are based on a kingdom, right? And so now you have to say, who were these people before this kingdom ever existed? They were a certain group of people. We also have names where Europeans decided to call certain parts of Africa, or the whole part of Africa, the land of the black people, land of black people. That's not our name. That's their name to identify who we are. So pay attention to the naming of our people. Once you get to understand that, you're going to understand that some of these names that are given are not our names, okay? Non-Africans who came to Africa did not know what they were looking at, and then they decided to name different types of people, whatever name that they wanted to name them, right? Again, when the word pygmies comes up, that's Twa people, right? And you get Negritos, you get the Eta people, and these people are found in the Philippines, North Malaysia, Thailand, Sumatra. In Indonesia, they're also found in Madagascar, and they're also found in Papua New Guinea. As you go through history, you're going to realize how they have removed the Africanness from these groups of people, because it has a lot of implication once you accept that these people are really just a break off of Twa people of Africa. These are Twa people, and they're the best physicians in history. They healed all forms of viruses, diseases, and cancer. Their knowledge of herbal medicine was so great that no African king or queen could rule without Twa representative as the national physicians to the monarch. This is what makes Twa people. So DNA has established that Twa people are the oldest. I want you to look at that age that they are placed at, 100,000 to 140,000 years old, found in Southern Africa, such as Southern African countries such as Botswana, Namibia, Angola, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and South Africa. But I want you to look at languages. Remember when I told you there are different variations of Bantu? And when it says all languages of the Kwe, do you see that other one there, the TUU? That's Tu. That's Ntu language family. What is Ntu? Ntu is Bantu. Look at how important it is to understand your Bantu lineage. Okay, so that supposedly there's 7 tribes that are the most ancient in Africa, and please don't come for me. I tried my best to not be disrespectful to any tribe. I want you to pay attention to the number of years, but most importantly, look at the location and understand that those locations are also considered Bantu locations. So out of the top 7 tribes, the Maasai people come at number 7, at being 3,000 years old, right? What did I say about the Bantu, the Twa people, and the Kwe people? Up to 100 to 140,000 years old. Here's another one that is also brought up, Berbers. Berbers are considered to be about 10,000 years old. Here's what I need you to understand about Berbers, okay? The pyramids of Giza, the pyramids of Sudan are way older than the age of what the Berbers are considered on this information site here. Forgot to mention the Berbers are North Africa. Sandawa people. Now look at that. We went from Berbers of 10,000 years old to Sandawa people 87,000 years old. That is huge. Again, pay attention to the country and realize that a lot of these countries are Bantu countries. Here we go again with that disrespectful term. Again, as you saw in number 1 with Twa people, you see up in number 4, African Twa people. Remember, Twas in Africa go from west to east to central to south. Look at that location. That's also a Bantu location. Hadza of Tanzania coming at number 3, also at 100,000 years old. No surprise with Nama people at number 2 being 100 and 140,000 years old. And just in case you forgot, the oldest tribes of Africa, Kwe, and Ntu people.